sir, my name is Elizabeth Duklara, NPM 22010300058, and today I'm going to explain about what is discourse analysis based on the 5 questions. This topic is really interesting because it connects language, meaning, and context. It's not just about grammar or structure, tapi juga tentang tentang how people use language in real life situation, in conversation, writing, media, or even daily talk. Alright, let's begin with the first question. Okay, for the first question is about 5 definition and main features of discourse analysis. So what exactly is discourse analysis? Okay, now I will explain about the 5 definition. The first is from Brown and Yule, 1983, say that discourse analysis is the analysis of language in use. This means that instead of studying grammar rules in isolation, we focus on how language is actually used by people in everyday communication. And for the second is from Cook, 1989, defines it as the study of language beyond the sentence. In other words, discourse analysis looks at how sentences connect to create a whole message or text. How people build meaning across sentence, not just within one. The third is Stubbs, 1983, describes it as the study of language that is used by people in real social situations, emphasizing how one utterance relates to another. So it's about connection, how conversation and text are linked logically and socially. And the fourth is from G, 1999, explains discourse analysis as a way to study how language constructs social identities and relationships. That means the way we speak or write show who we are and how we want to be seen. For example, a teacher language is different from students and both reflect social role. Okay, for the last from Fairclough, 1992, from a critical discourse analysis perspective, defines it as the study of how language expresses power and ideology. This means language isn't neutral. It can influence people's opinions or reinforce social power structure. Now, from these 5 definition, for the main features is the first is it studies language in use, not just grammar or theory. And the second, it focuses on meaning in context, how context changes interpretation. And the third is it examines relationship between sentence to understand how text flow logically. It includes social and cultural factors in communication, and it looks at how language can represent power, identity, and ideology. Now the second question, why do we study discourse analysis? Why do we study discourse analysis? Well, studying discourse analysis gives us a deeper understanding of how communication works. Memberikan pengertian lebih dalam bagaimana komunikasi itu bekerja. Language isn't just a system of grammar. It's a living, dynamic process. When we analyze discourse, we can, the first, understand how people build meaning and connection through language. Kita bisa mengerti bagaimana orang membangun arti dan koneksi melalui bahasa. The second is identify how context affect interpretation, like when a joke sounds different depending on who say it. And the third, improve our speaking and writing skills by being more aware of tone, intonation, and audience. And next, explore how language reflects social and cultural values. For the fifth, uh, and even uncover hidden meanings in media, advertisement, or political speeches, how language can persuade or manipulate people. Bagaimana bahasa dapat membujuk atau memanipulasi orang. Contoh, for the example, in the classroom, teacher can use discourse analysis to understand, untuk mengerti how students interact and respond. Bagaimana siswa itu berinteraksi dan merespon. And in the business world, companies can analyze marketing discourse to make their message more effective. And next, for the in the media, journalists and researchers can study how words shape public opinion. So for the basically, we study this course analyze to become more critical, aware, effective language user. It helps us see how language shapes our world. Okay, now let's go to the third question. The meaning and use for spoken and written discourse. In spoken discourse, discourse analysis looks at how people use language in conversation. Nah, discourse analysis ini melihat bagaimana orang menggunakan bahasa di dalam percakapan. It studies turn taking, pause, intonation, rephrase strategy, and interaction pattern. Spoken language is dynamic. People interrupt, repeat, or use fillers like you know or I mean. Okay, I give the example. Person A, it's hot in here. And person B, oh, I'll open the window. Even though A didn't ask directly, B understand. Person B understand, paham the intended meaning. That's what makes discourse analysis interesting. It's about understanding implied meaning, not just literal words. Next, in written discourse, the focus is different. We look at how ideas, melihat bagaimana ide are organized and connected to form coherent text. Writers use cohesive device such as however, the therefore, in addition, and as a result to link ideas logically. And for the example, in an academic essay, the introduction presents the topic, the body explains arguments, and the conclusion summarize ideas. That's discourse organization. So, spoken discourse is about interaction and negotiation of meaning, while written discourse is about structure, organization, or cohesion. Both are important because they show how meaning is built in different communication modes. Jadi, keduanya important, penting karena mereka menunjukkan bagaimana arti itu terbangun di mode komunikasi yang berbeda. Now question number 4, the differences between linguistic form and function. Form is the grammatical structure, how a sentence looks. Function is the communicative purpose, what the sentence actually does in the context. And I give the example. The first example is, could you pass the salt? Could you pass the salt? Form, bentuk, a question, interrogative. Bentuknya pertanyaan. And the function, a request, not a question about ability. Fungsinya yaitu meminta, permintaan, bukan pertanyaan about ability. Bentuknya pertanyaan, tetapi functionnya itu adalah request, permintaan. The second example in spoken language. Could you be quiet, please? Could you be quiet, please? Form question, bentuk pertanyaan. Function polite comment. Nah, memang bentuknya itu, formnya itu question, pertanyaan. Tapi functionnya itu tadi adalah kalimat perintah yang sopan. And then, in written language, the company regrets any inconvenience caused. Company regrets any inconvenience caused. Bentuk form statement, pertanyaan. And the function is apologize. Fungsinya adalah permintaan maaf. So the same structure can have different meanings depending on the context and the speaker's intention. Discourse analysis help us, membantu kita interpret not only what is said, tidak hanya tentang apa yang dikatakan, but also what it's mean, tetapi juga tentang apa yang dimaksudkan. This is why we say that a discourse carries more than its form. It carries a function and a purpose. Finally, we go to the fifth question, the role of context in interpretation. In discourse analysis, context is everything. Dalam discourse analysis, konteks adalah segalanya. It allows us to interpret meaning accurately. Without context, tanpa konteks, we might totally misunderstand a message. Kita mungkin akan bingung, misunderstand, bingung total, tidak connect dengan apa arti dari si pesan ini. Nah, there are two main kinds of context. The first is pragmatic context. Konteks pragmatik, which is about the situation, yang dimana ini mengenai situasi. Who is speaking? Siapa yang berbicara? When, kapan? Where, dimana, dan why, kenapa? Example, if a teacher says, good job, it's praise. But if a friend says, good job, after you spill your drink, it's sarcasm. The words are the same, but the meaning changes because of the situation. Nah, saat jika guru mengatakan good job, it's praise. Tapi kalau teman kita mengatakan good job after you spill your drinks, setelah jika teman mengatakan kerja bagus setelah kamu spill your drink, mengapakan seperti keselak dengan minumanmu, itu adalah sarkasme, bukan pujian. Memang bentuknya sama, katanya sama, tetapi it change meaning. It change meaning because of the situation. Ini dua arti yang berbeda. Satu pujian, satu lagi sarkas, berdasarkan situasi. Next, for the discourse context. Context discourse, which is about what has been said before and after. For the example, if someone says, I'm fine, right after crying, we know they are not really fine. Nah, jika seseorang mengatakan, aku baik-baik saja, tapi setelah nangis, kita tahu bahwa itu tidak akan baik-baik saja, bahwa dia tidak baik-baik saja. We interpret it from previous context. We also talk about the text of situation, which includes all the background, the participant, the physical setting, the purpose of communication, and the topic being discussed. All these layers of context influence how we understand, bagaimana kita mengerti the meaning, arti of any discourse. That's why context is the key to interpretation. It what makes language meaningful, not just grammatical. Inilah yang membuat bagaimana bahasa itu penuh arti, bukan hanya tentang gramatik. Okay, so to sum up, discourse analysis is the study how language is used in real communication. how meaning, bagaimana arti, structure, and context all work together. Bagaimana arti, structure, dan konteks itu bekerja sama. It goes beyond grammar to understand why people say what they say and how messages are understood differently in different situations. And by learning discourse analysis, we can become better communicators, better readers, and more critical readers. Okay, that's all for my explanation based on the 5 questions. And I apologize if I have some mistakes. Thank you, sir, for listening to my video, and thank you for watching my video. Thank you so much.